What up? What up? What up?
Hey everybody, how you all doing today?
We back. We back. We
Yeah,
back.
we are back. We are back. I'm excited. I'm excited. We took a hiatus and we revisited some old conversations. I hope y'all enjoyed those conversations we had.
Man, those conversations were good though. They were
Oh, they
good.
were. I loved it, man. Just going back and just listening to some of our guests as well as
Yeah.
ourselves. I mean, Joe, there has been so many nuggets that has been like put out, like especially from you, prophetess.
Here he go. Here he go, y'all.
I gotta butter up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I gotta butter up sometimes. Listen, this is what we need you to do. And we are live on tonight. We need you to like, share, and tag.
Come
And
on.
if you have not subscribed to our not Facebook, our YouTube page, please go and subscribe to that. We want
And
to get
like
numbers
our
bigger.
Facebook page.
Yes, and comment as much as possible. That will help us make some money. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, sponsors. Will there be one?
Yeah.
What's up, Shane? What's going on? When you come on, please let us know who you are, where you from, where you talking from.
Yes, 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 yes. Please do, please do. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening, oh saints of God.
Hey, bless him. God bless
Y'all, we
him.
missed y'all. We missed y'all so much. Oh
Ah,
my
yes,
God.
yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
we missed y'all. Don't
It's
forget to like, share, and subscribe. By all means, please press the share button. I need each person to come on here and share with at least one person. Share with at least one person because I think tonight is going to be a very, very deep and phenomenal night.
it's gonna be
Um,
it's gonna be one of those good
I love my
subjects.
brother, but he's been deep lately, and I don't know. He just deep on today. Yes. Hey Bishop, what's going on? Bishop in the house. Bishop in the house. Yeah, Bishop in the house. What's going on? Hey
Oh man.
Anna.
Uh-oh, the prophetess Anna Simmons.
Come on. Prayer warrior.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's that's a lot been going on in this month. Jonish and we had lunch our radio station about 2 months ago, and
Yes.
there has been a process. We still gotta learn some stuff about this radio station. So right now everything is automatic, and we're trying to learn how to do live shows and things
Yes.
like that. And when those tutorials that you gotta go to, they're 2 and 3 hours long. They kind of get
Y'all
kind of
pray for our brains. First, giving unto God who is the head of
yes,
all of our lives.
please,
Y'all pray for
please.
our brains because we on fire, we ready, but they don't tell us. See, this time they don't tell you about the processes in between. So don't be so excited and fire about the things God has called you to do. Be excited because He called you to do it. But no, there is a process in between what He told you.
That is the process. Oh yes, Bishop. Our platform is on Live 365. If you want to look us up, it's called Vision Radio. Vizhen Vision Radio. Hey mom.
Hey, ma.
So I can't eat popcorn. Love you both. Okay.
Baby, you better not eat no popcorn watching this show because you don't know what about to be said. Let's say now we are not liable for any choking, edges ripped, wigs displaced, Eyelashes left. We do. We. I mean, we got nothing to do with that. No, praise God. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is going to be one of those really good conversations. And look, we want you all to join in with us because we believe that some of you all are maybe possibly experiencing what we're going to be talking about tonight. And you see me smiling. You see me smiling. I am smiling to keep myself happy. It is definitely a lot going on,
Hey, Mama
but
Ann.
that's a lot going on this
It
end.
is a lot. It is a lot, as you can see from our topic of the conversation. My brother loves to come to the couch with something heavy. I just wish for once he would come to the couch with like some Kool-Aid or something. He always want a heavy, a weighted blanket. I don't know if y'all know nothing about them weighted blankets, but I love weighted blankets or my grandmama's Afghan because it's really, really heavy and my muscles are hurting. I put that Afghan up and it makes me feel like somebody holding me. I don't know if y'all know nothing about that, but I got one. Darnell, I always come to the table with a weighted blanket. Like, no Kool-Aid, a weighted blanket.
Yeah. No throw tonight. Tonight's not one of those nights that we, was gonna likely put someone on you. It's definitely. I think it's just one of them seasons that most of us are going through.
Yeah.
I've been talking to several people, and everybody is going in so many different directions, and it's a season of uncomfortability, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy that we all are experiencing this at this time of our lives. But you
And
know,
isn't it mental health month?
it might be. It might be. I haven't checked into that. I have been
I think
disconnected for
it's
a
mental
while.
health month, which would make sense because the month of May was so much going on in the mental.
Yes, mom
Mama Ann
passion.
said, she said yes. Mama Ann said yes.
Okay.
That makes total sense, even in the spirit realm. Okay, for a month of May to be the mental month. Cause let's just say I have been in there in my mental, and we just decided to talk about it in the open because, as you know, here we really, really recommend therapy, and I
Yes,
know
we
that
do.
is a difficult conversation for saved people, because they believe that the Lord. You notice I said the Lord with a
The
T.
Lords. The
the
Lords.
the Lord can do anything but fail, but yes, He also give you avenues and ways to do things also. And so we really wanted to balance that conversation out, and I think we've done. And we're going to go back to bringing on some of those mental health specialists to just really sit down and talk to you guys. So y'all most definitely stay tuned with that. But May being Mental Health Month makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a lot. It's just about like all my friends, even you. Like we all going through these major shifts and rifts in our lives, and I strategically use the word rift because we are being yanked away from everything that is comfortable to us. Is really wild.
Yes.
And I'm scrolling through Facebook and other social media platforms, Joe, and I'm watching people just their life just being changed and transformed.
Mm-hmm.
And it is crazy. But as you all know, I'm gonna say this: Jonisha and I, we have these. I call it pillow talk conversations
With no pills.
with no pillows, just cell phone. We have these pillow talk conversations, um, and they be very deep, very emotional. Sometimes tears roll, but I do believe this conversation is going to bless you all. And tonight we're going to be talking about process, the season of separation.
Hmm.
Ah,
Hmm.
you know, Joe.
Have you ever had a problem when your parents call your name? I'm starting to have that with my brother.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, brother.
yeah. So I'm gonna take a deep breath on this one. I I had a conversation with a supervisor of mine, and we was talking about Jonah, and I made a statement, and I think I made a statement on here before, like you saying yes to God and to your purpose in life never has anything to do with you. And if you don't submit to that will or to that purpose, now let me say this: God does give you free will, but what happens is when you don't submit yourself, it causes chaos with everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I use Jonah as an example that Jonah decided not to obey God. He decided to run to the opposite direction than what God had spoke to him.
Yeah.
And he got on the boat, and those people was like um were hit by friendly fire, to be honest.
Right.
And they was losing things because Jonah was on the boat, right? And they was throwing things off the boat. I mean, so much because they're trying to make sure they stay afloat.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when you don't say yes to your purpose in life or what God has put in you, you cause people to lose things because you just don't say yes. And it clicked in Jonah's head. Okay, look at here. This is going bad because I'm here, and since I'm here, this is why this is happening. He's like, throw me overboard. God had to
Mm-hmm.
force Jonah into a position of saying yes. And in that force experience, there was a place of separation.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible said that he was in the belly of the fish. You know, some
Mm-hmm.
people want to say whale.
Well, you know.
It is, but he was in the belly of some animal.
Of the sea.
And you know, in the New Testament, say he was in hell. He was in a place of separation. He was in a place of death and a loneliness. Like he was there by himself with his purpose, with his thoughts.
I think it was very
Yeah.
apropos for him to be in the belly of something because what was necessary for him to do was to digest the assignment.
Yeah.
And he never did. He never digested and took it in. He was just like, those people deserve what they deserve, but do you deserve what you deserve? And so I think it was very apropos for him to be sitting in the belly of something, for him to snap back and say, you need to digest your assignment. And I think that is one of the things, I totally understand Jonah. I wasn't necessarily like, now they deserve what they deserve, but I don't know if I was really truly ready for the separation anxiety that comes with being in a place where, okay, because time before, when you deal with things emotionally in your mental, you can drive to the next place and say, hey, I'm having a hard day today. I just need to come over and chill. But when he's taking you to a far off land, like he did Abraham, and he said, listen, if you don't separate from Lot, it's going to be an issue.
It's going to
Okay.
be a big issue.
It's going to be a big issue. And so there is a place where you hear what you need to do, but executing the separation is a huge thing, especially if the place you got to separate from is not necessarily a bad place. See, we'll run and walk away from places that we don't want to be in, or we don't feel like it's conducive for us. We're walking, but what about the place that you're really comfortable in? It's not really an issue. And these are the things that I have issues with separating from in relationships. Say we're just gonna go with all facets. If I'm in a relationship with the person and they really ain't done nothing wrong to me, but God said separate, let's go. Like, okay, God. Then I turn into Jonah because I'm like, I don't know how to digest this because ain't nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know how to digest a separating. What are you really doing? And so I think it was so apropos for Jonah to be in the belly of a whale to understand the digestive tract, the digestive system, how long it takes to digest something. Like I'm sure he saw other things come in while he was sitting there. And
Absolutely.
and then to even experience the regurgitation. Like some things you need to just upchuck.
That's
And you
true.
need to release out of your mouth. Even in those places, you need to release. There's a twofold thing that happens when you release. Sometimes you get rid of toxic things, but in the spirit realm, when you release, you see fruit.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. You know, me and you was talking, and you want me to share our conversation?
sure.
Ah, okay. So, excuse me. We had a conversation like there are times when the Lord speak to you, you get super excited about the word that He
Mm-hmm.
has revealed to you. Like,
Uh,
oh yes, I'm gonna do this.
yes,
Yes,
glory.
Jesus, God, I hear you,
Yeah.
and Lord, I surrender. We get that real.
That deep. Mm.
I
I
surrender.
surrender all.
I surrender all. Definitely. So like without, and it's like, okay, I know it's going to be difficult and there's going to be some changes, but
Mm-hmm.
I am ready for the battle. And then you run into the battle, and it's kind of like, I ain't ready for that battle.
Am I ready with
I ain't ready for that. I ain't ready for that. And then you find yourself like, you go through those moments where, because as you begin to elevate, you begin to pull away from everything that's familiar with you, whether it's your family, your friends, and even in the midst of that separation, you start speaking another language that they're unfamiliar with, and they're called to the disconnect, man.
this? Mm-hmm.
And here you are. I'm not gonna say in a foreign land at the moment. Here you are in places where you knew where you was at, you understood your surroundings, and you talk to these people, and they're like, "Okay, Joe, you ain't making sense. This ain't making sense." And you speaking with what you're seeing, and they're not comprehending. Let's start the process of their that pulling away, because God spoke to you a long time ago and said, "Hey, it's time to move forward."
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I want to be close to Jonisha. I want to be. That's my sister, and that's my best friend. So I can't. And here God is pulling you up, and I can just imagine when you first talking about moving to North Carolina. Let me revisit that. That people was like, "Here this girl go again with this right here."
That what she said.
Yeah, what she said.
I don't think. Look, I ain't gonna lie. Besides other people not thinking I was really gonna move, I didn't know if I was really gonna move because you say so much stuff, and God is dealing with me about being a finisher because I've said a lot of stuff I didn't necessarily follow through with the plan, but this one was just a little different. It was a this was a life change. This thing that I'm doing to you is far beyond you. So this thing you can't say and not do, if that
Right.
makes sense.
It does.
So, and I was thinking about that space, and the first thing I thought about was the eagle because I'm sure, the eagle would love to be with the family, but he has to go high
Yeah.
for clarity of sight, to because he see miles away and he know exactly what he want when he
Right.
want it and he going for it. Just think about how blurred his eyesight would be if he stayed down with the chickens
Right.
or with the crows or whatever that flies low. There are there is a protection in the high place. There's clarity of thought in the high place, and there is just a protection in the high place. And so, even though the language isn't, I think sometimes the language isn't understood, is because it's like it's like you being in class learning a new language. It's hard for you to articulate to somebody who don't know it at all, and you still trying to learn it. It's just hard to articulate. Period.
Right.
And I think that's the place I've been in. Like, I feel all of this, and I really don't know how to articulate it to even tell anybody what I see, what I hear, what I feel. I'm just going with the flow, honestly. Just sort of casting my wings out in the wind and like floating. Because if I try in my own strength to articulate, to try to guide, to try to make people understand, I don't have the words.
And sometimes it's like that. It's like you don't have the verbiage to say what is that needs to be said or what you feel. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm just on this go. I'm just on this go. Um, you and I had this conversation, and I think it's been 2 weeks now. I had a major change that came, and when I tell you all that it shook me, it shook me. And I found myself like feeling some type of way. like
Mm-hmm.
literally feeling some type of way. I knew I was tired, because I was working so much, but this was like so much deeper than that, And while I was laying there, things were kept being rehearsed in my head. I put in our post like, um, you hear the ghost of your past whispering in your ear.
So good.
Yeah, and it's like I'm by myself. I'm in my house alone, just sitting here, just focusing on, okay, God, you allowed this to happen. So what's next? I'm out of my comfort zone now. A long time ago, Lord had dropped a word in my heart. I mean, it was like, okay, try this, but fear set in. Fear set
Yes,
in.
it does.
Fear set
It's
in.
it sits. It don't. You
Mhm.
ain't. I mean, that's one emotion that don't ask to be. Uh, it don't even have to ask. You want to have a seat? It just sit down.
It just sit down. It's
Yeah.
and the funny part about it, it comes. I mean, it comes uninvited. You know,
Oh
it,
my.
it's it's like it just show up, and then it sit there and have a conversation with you, like got this bill due on the third, and you look at your bank account, and you're like, now you have to pull some money out your savings to take care of this, and all these jobs, you know, is you're not you don't have the degree for. So how you gonna get that position? How you gonna do this and how you gonna do that? And so it sit there like
You.
because
Oh my God. I'm listening to you talk, and literally God just dropped this in my spirit. How distorted our ways being
mhm,
to the point of where we're uncomfortable with God, but comfortable in these other things. We need to be uncomfortable because if we are not of this world and we're spiritual beings, why would we be uncomfortable in the world?
absolutely.
We backwards. We uncomfortable with the God stuff. Like this is a very uncomfortable place. God should be uncomfortable, but he is. It's the unknowing. It's the unfamiliar. It's just like Mama Ann said about stepping out on faith. It's hard to you stepping out on a substance that you can't see.
Can't see. Can't see it all. It's just kind of like and then you just dug into a conversation I had this morning, and in a past conversation that you and I had on the podcast. It's like when the Lord speak to you and say, "Hey, I need you to get off on this exit right here, and this is where I want you
Mm-hmm.
to plant yourself." And you get off that exit, all you see is a forest. And you like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? And the Lord said, "This is what I want you to do." And you feel the pull, but you don't want to deal with it because there's nothing there.
And see, I just love what you just said because you see the forest, and some people can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah,
They just see the tree. They don't see the grand. You say you saw a forest.
South
That's
Forest.
a grand. That's a grand scope of things. Some people just see trees.
Yeah, that's true. They do. That's that is true. And it's weird how fear like sets in and have this major conversation with you and tell you how things are looking. And the thing of it is, what fear is actually saying is not a distorted reality; is a reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's your truth. It is the truth for that moment. And the conversation you and I had, let's get to that part right here because and I'm gonna tie this with it right here because when we're going through those changes, we immediately think, "Oh, the devil is busy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's an evil spirit around me." I said this a long time ago to a family member of mine. I said, "Everything good isn't always God, and everything bad
Mm-hmm.
isn't
Isn't
always the
always the devil.
it
Come
ain't."
on, preach. Y'all, excuse me. This thing's getting on my nerve, y'all. Come on.
I'm telling you, it is it, and so God allows those challenges
Mm-hmm.
to come against us so that it can make us into our divine purpose. Each one of you, each one of you, to the crackhead, to the stripper on the pole,
Over that a pole.
or without a pole, to the street walker, there is a divine purpose in each and every one of you. And God
Mhm.
allows so much to happen to try to pull you into that space. And when you start saying yes, it's not beautiful at all, Joe. It's like, why does everything crazy go happen? That I mean, everything crazy happens when you say yes. Your friends walk away. Your brother get an attitude with you, don't talk to you no more for a couple of days. It's like all this happened, and you be like, "My, I should have stayed at the bar because I didn't have this craziness."
Baby, because we got to understand that if we go by the course of heaven, we know there's also a court of hell because he is a copycat. He gonna try to mimic everything that he sees. So when you literally yield to God and say yes, you know the opposite has to show up because it wants to make you look like you crazy. Like you said yes, but clearly no it's all around you. And so when a yes like makes you stick out like a sore thumb, it's like going into a strawberry patch full of rose thorns. That's what it feels like. Like I'm coming to get strawberries, but these thorns are all around me. They don't belong here because it wants to distort your sight. It wants to distort your thinking. It wants to trick you. Me and my brother was talking earlier, and as much as I know that I'm called to certain places, like for that split moment, because I was feeling a certain kind of way, like I was feeling real heavy and isolated and just lonely. And those whispers started to happen like you don't belong in the kingdom. Like people of the kingdom stronger than this. They can talk their way out of this. They know how to speak to themselves and da 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 da. And I was just like, I was numb for like I was like paralyzed with this battle in my mind. And all of a sudden I just snapped like, stop lying. Like, you're not finna keep on talking out loud, and I'm not gonna say nothing back.
Yeah,
This is the issue. It's not even necessarily you got a scripture to say. Yes, you do need scriptures according to what you feeling like at that time, but sometimes it's just a place of you opening your mouth
right.
and saying, "Shut up, you lying wonder." You're not even allowed to come near my gates to be doing all this whispering.
Yeah, absolutely. In my mind, think about when Christ, when he got baptized, the Bible said that God led him to the wilderness. And so let me unpack that for you all. There are moments that you are driven into a place of desolation. And that's what we want to talk about tonight because sometimes, Jesus, who was God manifest in the flesh, he was God's word in human flesh, was driven to a place of desolation
Mhm.
and got there. The Bible said 40 days and 40 nights he fasted and he was hungry. And here come the enemy talking to his mind through his flesh and was
Mhm.
like, well, how can you be who you claim that you are? If you are, call these angels down. And the Bible says,
Turn these
from
stones
this,
to bread.
yeah, all this stuff, knowing he was
Yeah.
hungry and knowing that he had the power and the ability to do this. But what Christ had to do, he had to tell him, do what? Get thee behind me,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
sometimes, we'll have to tell Satan to get behind us because since at the finished work of the cross, we can put him under our feet.
Already done.
I mean, he's already defeated. So you got to tell yourself, like, because our flesh talk to us, like, man, forget you. I ain't deal with this. Oh yeah, I did. And you gotta face the reality and be like, yeah, I did do that. I did think that way. And so what? I am victorious because who I serve.
That's it.
And the
That's it.
battle that I've won and that I'm going to win is already won through who I serve.
Yes. Yes. And I think we want to make sure in this conversation that you understand there is a difference between reality and truth. Your current reality is not your truth. It is what's going on at this moment, but the word of God is what's true. And if he already your current reality may be sickness, but the truth is you're already healed by his stripes. And so we want you to distinguish, even with the mental battles that's going on, what truth really is, what you believe truth is. Because only what you believe will take flourish and produce fruit. So if you really are believing in the reality that you're sick and that you're alone and that you're in this desolate place, you literally are taking ground there. You are cutting the ribbon saying, this is where I plan to stay. And that does not have to be. I really want to make sure, I really, 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 really want to make sure that we have clarity of thought in every process, and that we understand that what something looks like is not necessarily so. Because if that was true, I would have not been chosen to say a word, to say anything, because maybe I don't look the part. And we understand, of course, we church people, so we go back to the Bible.
Yeah,
Jesus
we
didn't
do.
look the part. He come here riding on ass. Yes, he did. And I believe that was so apropos because he knew it was a lot of asses in the church realm and in the spiritual realm, and he needed to ride in on that to let them understand that I come here for them. I come here for the people that think they're super spiritual. I come here for those that have not even been into the four walls. He came in an unusual package because he wanted to make them think past what they think. And I think
Mm.
that's the whole gist of everything we go through. He wants us to think clarity of thought past what we know. If we submit our minds to the people, because even right there, that triggered somebody right there because I said the word that was in the Bible. That whole piece just triggered somebody right there. But when you understand placement, where you are, what's going on in the moment, because even in this moment of separation for me, and the conversation probably more so came up because of me, because I am in a space where I feel like I'm just separate from everybody. I'm at the loop with everything that's going on. Everybody has their own life. So it's like I find things out later on the back end when I used to be in the mix of everything. But maybe he don't need me to be in the mix of everything, because it's hard to have a clear thought when you're in the mix of things. You don't find the mixer in the middle of the cake batter. It's on top, mixing up the stuff, because it needs to see, only up top when when something is done.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. I think one thing we have to kind of look at it from a different angle too is this right here, that um everything is not the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I want to drive home for us, because now don't get it twisted, the enemy comes in the midst to distort what you see, what you feel, what you think, your truth, your reality. That's what he does. He's the one that kind of turn things around. That's why the word wicked means to twist.
Mm-hmm.
Mean to turn. So he comes to turn things around to make things look whatever. But the thing of it is, like, your part of the process is the separation. And like you talked about the cake, and this is so funny that you was talking about that, because I was thinking about, there are some recipes that's called for certain things to be mixed before it be put together, or to be
Mm-hmm.
separate before it does that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that's what happened. Before you can get to the point where you can mix everything, you have to mix this together, mix that together, then pour that together. It's all a process.
Mm-hmm.
The finished work is what we're trying to get to. And I think
Yes.
I, I think I'm trying to, like, I'm learning this, like, for real, for real. It is so funny because um 6 months ago, 6 months ago, my bishop's online called me up to the front and said this to me. Like, the Lord said, um, don't despise the process. I knew it was Jesus, because anybody know, now I'm patient with everybody else, but I ain't patient with Darnell. Like, I want to rush it. Like, hey, bam, let's get this done. I think that's part of the ADD that's in me. I just like, hey, bam, bam,
It
bam,
ain't in
quick
his
move.
out.
It's like, It's cool. So
Come out.
in saying that, when you know yourself, you learn start how to pace yourself and learn how to deal with um what's needed. Because if you don't, you'll miss something that's gonna be very important for you at the end.
Yep.
And so in this part, I was sharing with you, and I'm not gonna share what the Lord had told me to share with you because that's personal. But sometimes in our moments we feel crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We feel crazy. We feel lost, like you was talking about. Okay, I am in the position. I'm not in the loop of things anymore. I'm not driving down to Memphis and I'm part of this group and people calling me because now I'm in a position where I'm in a city where nobody knows my name.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, like I'm in a place where people know me. But in the past 2 weeks, I've been feeling like I want anybody to see me.
Wow.
I want anybody to feel me. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here trying to figure things out. And because I should say yes a long time ago.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Yeah.
now this craziness has happened.
You would have
People
been forced to say
yeah,
yes.
force. Yeah, force. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. We don't move because it's comfortable.
No.
When God told Abraham or Abram at the time, hey, listen, do not take nobody with you. Just get you and yours and what belongs to you and get the bouncing. He took Lot with him. Now, God blessed Lot because Lot was connected to Abram. But the reality of it is he's supposed to win by himself.
Yeah.
Drama happened because he didn't follow directions properly. Thank you, Jesus. When you cooking and you don't follow those directions properly,
Drama happened.
drama happens.
That
I
cake
got
turned into pancakes.
look. I have a friend. I have a friend, and she brags about, oh, I'm such a horrible cook that I couldn't cook cornbread, right? And so she was telling me what she did. She got a box of Jiffy Mix, and you know that one box tell you to use a certain whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
So she's going to get one box of Jiffy Mix, and put in an 8.5 by 11 pan. Did not follow directions. The bread didn't rise, and she felt like she was a horrible cook because she didn't follow directions. If you
Right.
don't follow
Come
directions, you will not
on.
get the outcome that you're looking for.
And did it make you feel some type of way?
It'll make you feel some type of way. And
Woo.
And so here I was. It's funny because a lot of times when the Lord give you a word, and this is what Jesus spoke to me today, because it's like God been on me like heavy today, and I was saying some things the Lord had shared on my heart to share with somebody else. I walked out, and the Lord said that same word that you shared with that person, that same word is for you.
Mm-mm.
Ah,
Won't he do it?
that's
He'll snatch that ponytail in the spirit in a minute. Your edges be all up and they be like, oh Lord, hold on. Don't do that. Don't do that, Lord. I heard, baby, he will snatch you up. And I think, separation is a reset. Let me tell you why that is. Because when everybody else's voice, including your own, becomes louder than him,
yeah,
he gonna put you in a space where his voice echo. It be so loud, you be like, ooh, turn it down. Ooh, turn it down.
mhm,
Okay, Lord, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
yeah,
Because we get caught up when we in the mix of things, and we with people all the time. Their voice is louder. Forget that voice. They didn't even gotta say nothing. We be trying to please. So our own voice trying to think for them is louder than what the Lord is telling you to do. And so sometimes separation is just a reset. It's a reset for you to, hey, okay, now it's me and you talking.
yeah.
Okay. Let me tell you what I had intended before you put your 2 cents in. Because I don't know why we think we need to help him. We are the most helpingest. I mean, everybody got the spirit of helps when it comes to Jesus. And he didn't ask for your help. Why everybody got the spirit of help? You got the spirit of help with Jesus, but nowhere else. Come on, that's a problem.
That's because we have not trusted Him like we should have.
Mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
we kind of interpret what the word of the Lord has said to us, and we kind of reinvent. The Lord told me to put on blood red, but But blood red might not be blood red. It might just be burgundy red. So let me go get the burgundy red because it's
That's
still
close
red.
to it. That
That's yeah,
we
yeah.
always we love it. We love to get close to stuff and not on point. Cause my guy, he's on point, and we don't be on point because we be trying to do something like he don't need your something like he needs you to just do what he told. And so, what you talking about that? This is what I was thinking when we be doing something like Luther Vandross curl didn't quite curl the way it was supposed to. And we do that to him out the but when I tell you we got the spirit of excellence when it comes to our own stuff, we have the spirit of excellence because it's got to be right. But why you don't do what he tell you to do like that? Why you don't why come for you don't do what he tell you to do with the same spirit of excellence? You know why? Because that very word you said, trust, and we trust what we see.
Yeah.
If we can't trace it, we can't trust it. We revented that. We invented a new word. You gotta trust them when you can't trace them. Oh my God, baby, you be lying. It's the opposite. You don't trust what you can't trace, and that's just being
Absolutely.
honest. That's how we operate. You may say out your mouth you gonna trust them when you can't trace them, but baby, if you can't trace them, you getting out the lines just like
I
you do
think
with them numbers and levels.
I think we gotta be honest with ourselves. I remember, y'all. This is a churchy conversation, so we just please excuse us, okay?
We in there
So
today.
I remember when Jesus was going about doing miracles, and oftentimes he rebuked his disciples and those around him. And so I remember this phrase that hit my mind. Said, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief.
Unbelief. Yes, sir. Yes,
Because it's
sir.
like, okay, I know you can do what you can do, but I don't know sometimes.
If
Like,
you do it for me.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you hit that part because I can believe it for somebody else, but
Can't believe for myself.
can't believe for myself.
That's a low self-esteem issue, really though.
It is.
Because we don't think we deserve the spaces that we in. And no, technically we don't. But if he called you, he also qualified you. So therefore you deserve to be in the spaces that he put you in.
Guess what? No one deserves. Like, I don't care. I don't care how intelligent you are, or how well you speak, or if you're a singer, how you can do all these riffs and runs with your voice, and if you
Yeah.
skillful on the keys, the drums, you do all this different type of stuff. Whatever that you have been graced to do, you were never worth it to even get there. It
That's
was like
it.
grace on every hand. Grace on
Baby.
every hand.
If he deserves it and he live on the inside of you, you deserve it.
Absolutely.
You have been adopted into the deserving.
You know what? Check this out. So the part of the process of separation, and I'm just hearing as we just have this conversation on the couch,
Yeah.
is to build your confidence. Because if you have to rely on everyone and everything around you, you would never know for yourself that you can stand. Check this out.
Oh.
Remember the story I told you about the me riding a bicycle, my daddy, and I was telling let good people. Let me tell you this: them training wheels were throwing up deuces. I mean, they
Baby, bent.
it's just they was
Baby, they were
everywhere.
cues in the spirit.
I'm telling you. And check this out: majority of time when God pulls us away, He pulls us away to let us know we can walk, we can ride on our own.
Ooh, that's so good.
He's building your confidence. And
Oh,
check this
so
out. It's
good.
funny because you got these training wheels that throwing up all these Q signs and not realizing that you've been making it the whole time.
Baby, them training wheels ain't stable. You been walking around. Now listen, you don't hear something right there, son. Because let me say this: if he called you to be a lively stone, but you only think you're lively or valuable when you with a bunch of other stones, how you gonna know what your placement is? Because each lively stone has a specific placement. If you look at people, the whole armor, if you look at the armor, they have the stones are on the chest. It's near the heart because you are in God's heart. So he puts them on the chest. But you have a specific space to hold, and you have to fill that space. But if you don't know your worth, you'll bring all these other and let's just be honest, some of these people aren't. that you're with may not necessarily be. They may be Cuban zirconian. You sit up there a whole Ruby walking around with these Cuban zirconians and putting your worth into the cubic zirconian, and you are the most valuable thing. You the MVP,
And we all been there, like and I'm not, check
baby.
this out. I'm in my mind during the times when I'm by myself and I begin to rehearse like different connections with different people, and I was like, and y'all please forgive me what I'm about to say. I'm like, Lord, I was friends with people. Shoot, they were just one nugget away from receiving the disability check. Hey,
I needed that laugh. Not one nugget though. Where you get them nuggets from? Where you decide with a nugget whether you get a disability check? Yeah, where you get these nuggets from? I don't want to buy them nuggets. Tell me what store you got them nuggets from, because I am not going to that store.
I'm telling you all. And you start, I mean, have you ever rehearsed conversations with people that made you feel like you were this small, and you sit back and you're like, what in God's name, what was I thinking? And the truth of the matter is, like, you really was here and they was
Yes.
there.
But see, that's the thing, when people are gifted in their words and they have a right. When they Okay, this is what people do. I'm gonna show you the trick. It ain't even got nothing to do with the end. This is the trick people do. When somebody know they got a lot of shortcomings, they are horn in on what they do well, and they just go on it. So a person can be poor as the Dickens, but they good with their words. Baby, when they get through talking to you, in your mind, they got the mostest with the, because they the mostest with the they be hosting words
Yeah.
coming out of their mouth. But baby, go check that account. Baby, I done met so many people who I just thought, okay, I don't need to be in this room, because like these people, I don't have what they have. And then I just, God do this every time, just to, for me. I find back channel. We we both we live down the street. So you ain't with. That is why, and this is what I think the separation does. Be out serious. Y'all know I'm goofy, but to be out serious, this is what separation does. It makes you see your truth. It makes you deal with your truth, because what the people, we need, let's not even go spiritual. What the people is tired of is walking around see with these lavish leaves, but when I'm hungry, I can't pull no fruit off you
Can't put no fruit.
because you flogging. And I'm about to take Jesus' spot and start cursing these trees at the root, because I'm sick of looking at all these pretty leaves, and then you make me feel like because I got one pear and a leaf that mine ain't that good when you ain't got no fruit,
I'm telling you, people would judge you because they don't have anything.
baby.
Check this out. Check this out. If you find a gossiper or
Mm.
really a seriously judgmental person, if you get the opportunity to follow them home, you will find out like they ain't got nothing. They are the most unhappy people in the world. I know they may sound like little oxymoron, just keep repeating stuff, but it's the truth. I remember like when I first moved to Tennessee, and there was some guys I was like, man, they the best dressed. All the girls want them, and everybody want to be around them. And I remember one particular afternoon walking from school, Joe. And so this guy was walking in front of me, and he was like a ladies' dude, man. He had, y'all, this is gonna tell my age. He had the starter jacket on, had the Jordans,
Not
had the
starter.
starter, and had the name brand pants on and stuff like that. And so I always thought my house where we lived there was not the best. You feel me? And so I'm walking behind this guy. When I tell you that this gentleman walked in the most raggedy house ever, and I was like, my mouth dropped. When I tell you, it gave me such an appreciation, like where I was at, and that's when they clicked in on. See, God has a way to allow things to
Mm-hmm.
click in on you. Here you
Yes,
are
because
being judged.
that was a twofold lesson for you.
Yeah,
That was a lesson that you don't have to look like where you come from, and you cannot allow people to put you in a space of judgment in your head. I think this is one of the main reasons why he said don't compare yourself amongst yourself, because everybody got something.
Everybody got something.
You
But,
your house may not be the best, but I may have a nice car.
but check this out. I mean, that's doing it. I didn't know what buddies were at that particular time. So I had the buddies, the Walmart pants, the Dollar General. I mean, seriously, you know what I'm
And now
saying?
kids love buddies. They straight up go to Walmart and redesign them whole shoes and be looking just as fly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think for me, that's where, like, okay, here I am. I got the buddies on. I have the Walmart pants and a Dollar General t-shirt. You hear me? And so I'm walking to a house that is still that's not leaning on his everlasting arms.
Baby.
That's not raining in there. You get what I'm saying? So I start seeing things, and I want to say this to anyone who's listening to me, like right now, like be seriously encouraged. I know the words may not supposed to flow together, but I just want to like put it out there. Be seriously encouraged.
Yes,
You
yes.
may be in a dark place. You may be in a place of loneliness because ain't nobody around. You're not in a loop anymore. But guess what? Guess what? You're gonna be all right. God is preparing you. This is the process. Pro. And when I hear the word pro, I think about professional. God is building you to be a professional in the craft that He has called you into.
You talk right there. And speaking of the dark, a lot of times I want to encourage you because I am in this space. And I want, he just dropped this in me as Darnell was talking, that sometimes he puts you in the dark just so you won't try to put your hands to it. If you can't see, you won't try. And so you may be in the dark because he's doing a thing in you that he don't need your help with. And the separation is just so he can horn in and that you can focus
Yeah.
on watching him recreate you, watching him do the work. Because, if you are not separated, you can say, this person did that for me. That person did this for me. This is the reason why I got here. And you'll feel like you owe a person instead of owing God everything. So
Right.
sometimes I think the separation happens for you to understand that it's all me. It's all God. It's necessary. And yes, some things only grow in the that and they're the most beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
They are
All
some of the most beautiful flowers.
yes. Traditionally, you plant a seed in the ground. You do not see the seed as it goes through its germination process. But
Mm.
as you see it sprout up, you know that's a manifestation of what's been planted. And I remember this is Joe. You remember the days when you had to take pictures and you take it to Walmart or Super D's to get it developed.
Yes,
Those
Walgreens.
Walgreens, those pictures develop in the dark. They didn't develop in the light.
Ooh, so good.
And the thing of it is, it's okay to be in the dark. I just remember. Look, I feel preachy today. I feel good and churchy. I okay, don't do that look. Let me tell y'all something. I remember being in prayer, and I always share this. And I was praying, and the Lord spoke to me and was like, you know what? Just trust my word. Because I'm telling how dark my life was. I was in a moment of like deep depression.
Mm.
And God was saying, just trust my word. I said, Lord, I don't see you. He said to me, he was like, even though you can't see me, hear me. And I want to say that to somebody. You may
Wow.
not see what God is doing, but listen for his direction and hear him clearly. God has placed you in a position of being by yourself because he is making you and developing you into something, like my bishop said, unique. Unique. Like Joe, you're in North Carolina, not by happenstance. You're in North Carolina because God is forming you into something unique.
Mm-hmm. And I think, me and words. When you look up the word separation, okay. First of all, separation is an action. It simply means to move.
Yep.
The state of moving. moving or being moved. That's what it means. And so, why is separation a bad thing? It's not. Separation is only a bad thing if it's division.
Yeah.
That's the only time it's because other than that, when you're separate, that means you're distinct. You're distinct in whatever, and perhaps maybe that's what he's doing in. Ooh, God, perhaps that's what he's doing in you. He's distinguishing you from all the other things, distinguishing you from your family life, from your church life. There is a distinction that he wants to bring to your calling, to your life, to your purpose. There is a distinct thing, and he needs to show you those things. But sometimes when, like, if I hold up a random picture, each person will have their own opinion about what they see, what it is, why it is the way it is, what you should do with it, where you need to hang it, what you need to do with it. But it's something about when you're off alone to yourself, and God, this is a God night tonight. It's one of those nights,
It
and
is what it is.
God shows you a picture of the plans that he has for you. And he shows you a picture of the plans he has for you. He's going to tell you the timing. He's going to tell you where to hang it. He's going to tell you what it means, because you can have your own interpretation of what your life should be. You can have your own interpretation of what your purpose is. But it's something about when you get separated and you begin to allow God to show you different things about yourself, even the ugly, because he uses, remember, every test comes out of a testimony, and every mess has a message. So with that being said, he's going to show you the good, bad, the ugly, indifferent. Allow him to show you, and then show you where you need to place those things in your life. Because
Right.
sometimes we place mess into the forefront when it was really called to be just a background space.
Right. Right.
And we get overwhelmed by the mess, and our whole message is messy.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, look at the beautiful picture God made out of my mess. And look where he told me to hang it. Let me tell you why he told me to hang it there. And then begin to spill out, being a living epistle read of man, being able to spill out why he told you to hang it there at that moment, at that time, and at that space. And then you will watch people. It's like an HGTV. They'll come in and like, oh, I didn't even know what to do with my mess.
Mhm.
Now I completely understand. Oh, okay, that's where that goes.
Yeah.
So understand, with the separation, it's a placement piece. It's a placement. It's just showing you what to do with the things that you already have on the inside of you, the things that you have
Absolutely.
been holding. But it's an issue when you holding all this stuff, and then you taking on other people's stuff and holding their stuff, and you still don't even understand what you got in your own hands.
That's right. You said something. You was talking about um, mess. Your mess is definitely a message. And I remember taking art class, and a matter of fact, when I was in North Carolina with you, you took us to this art gallery, and that was this piece of art, and it was just like it was crazy. It was crazy. That
I
type of
think
art.
I think I liked it.
Yeah, you did. And I was just joking around about it because it was abstract art. In
Yeah.
abstract art, people interpret it based upon what they see and they feel at that moment. And so you never know how your mess has inspired somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And here this your life is all thrown into pieces, and it's so chaotic. And you decided, like, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to hang this up while I go through this process of separation, of being alone, and allow people to see this. And while you're over there crying about, man, it don't look pretty,
Mm-hmm.
somebody seeing
Mm-hmm.
that, like, wow, I see a victorious person.
Yeah.
Wow, I see this, I see that. I see some sadness, but I see a whole lot of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so it doesn't matter what your mess look like. Somebody can get a message out of your mess.
Come on, sir.
Somebody can get a message.
Somebody get a message out of your. But listen to this. We're talking about separation, but you do realize there are many different types of separation.
Separate.
Separation is one word, but there's many different types of separation. The issue is, what did you do and how did you do that? See, you got a separation that's called a resignation. That means you chose to resign.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was your choice. Then you got a layoff separation. That means that was out of your hands. They laid you off. They told you where you was going to go. But then there's
Right.
a dismissal. That means you completed your whole assignment and now you can be dismissed. That's the type of separation. But then there's another thing called retirement. That means you don't put in your time. You don't put in your work. And at this present time, I have given you all that I can give you at this time. It's time to let somebody else come up and take the pole or take the space. I think I might retire.
Right.
All of that is separation.
That's
You
good.
just got to know what level of separation you in.
That's
What
good.
level of separation you in? Are you at a space where you say, you know what, this space is not for me anymore. I think I'll resign. I think that's where I am. You know, I just think it's time for me to move on. I think he's calling me to a different space. I think it's time to resign. Some people don't know how to let go. That's why they have separation anxiety and they had to get laid off. They literally had to get fired to move to the next place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lay you off because we don't have any extra money for you. We have to cut some spaces, and since you make the most and you do the most, we cut you first.
We cut you first.
We cut you first.
Cut you first.
So no, if you cut out first, that may just mean you're too qualified for the position. I mean, I'm just saying. Layoff ain't always because you ain't doing the work. Sometimes layoff is just because I can't pay you what you're worth. They not giving me enough funds.
That's another way of looking at it. And you right, you have to discern like what level of separation that you're in. And in either form of separation, anxiety is attached to it, whether you retire, because now that you're gonna be doing something different, whether you was
Yes.
forced, whether it was chosen, because if you don't have nothing
Yes.
lined up, you're gonna have to move to somewhere else. All that it fills that space, and that's when the ghosts start coming back and whispering in your ear, and that's when you got to take the time to speak the word of the Lord, what you know about yourself and what God has promised you. We have been on here for an hour, went over just a little longer than what we was expecting to do, like we always do.
Yes.
Like we always do.
You right, Bishop. He does. He
He
does.
pushes. He pushes you.
I think we need to make sure that with separation, whatever level you on in separation, if I speak to anybody tonight, make sure that you have no resentment. Make sure you have forgiven all parties, because when he takes you to that next level, Bishop, if you haven't forgiven the first party, I believe there's a space in the Bible that says when you come to the altar, if you have an out with your brother, put down what you're doing,
Put your gift down.
put your gift down, go
Yep.
and get it right with your brother. You can't expect God to elevate you and take you to the next place, and you
Mhm.
still got resentment and unforgiveness in your heart.
That's it.
Maybe the separation is to show you that place. You need to go back and get that right. So
That's it.
before whatever reason you're separated, before he takes you to that next place, because there is a space after separation. There is a space after separation, and we might talk about that next week. Who knows? But before he elevates you, make sure you're guilt free. You have no resentment, no built up resentment. Make sure you don't have any financial woes, because some of y'all resign because y'all old folks. And
You you didn't want to pay them their money, so you decided to leave. I know people who left. I
but
know
for,
folk who
baby,
left churches because they owe the church some
I was
money.
gonna say, forgive money. You really, in all honesty, just think about friends. Me and you've been friends a long time. You put a lot of time into me. And the one time you do something I don't like, I resign from our friendship and I never come back to that space, when really, I really owe you in a space, because you were there for me at the most difficult
Right.
seasons of my life. But people don't look at that like that, but they be resigning. Make sure that you ain't got poor communication when you do resign. Get you a letter. Say, do it right. Don't be just walking out of folks' lives. Separation
Uh-huh.
ain't for that. I'm separating myself because I really don't like them. No, you communicate. Listen, sir, ma'am, I'm separating you because our relationship at this time is not conducive for where I need to go. And until I feel like that I can do this in the right, so I won't build up any malice in my heart, I'm going to have to separate from you at this time.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is the way you do that. You
Now,
you do
if
that.
you can, cause some, let's be honest, some folk, Lord have mercy, you, Lord, by the time you try to have a conversation, you try to be decent with them, you know, they you want to lay hands on them. It won't be in Jesus' name either. So there are some situations in separation where you just gotta just walk off,
Well,
no conversation.
that probably mean that you in the space of layoff because you should have been gone. You should have resigned a long time ago out their relationship. But if you lingered on, the harder it'll be.
Look,
We
Joe,
be ready. I know you ain't. I know
Joe,
you ain't.
Joe, you gotta put a McDonald's move. Well, we'll call you when we put you back on the schedule.
Baby, that ain't no McDonald move. That's a universal move, baby. They did me like that when I was at one of my jobs. We gonna call you when there's an opening. Baby, I'm looking on Indeed, seeing all kind of openings. Hold on. Ain't nobody called me yet. They could have told me they separated from me.
That's it. Just tell me. Well, like it's just one of them things. We'd be funny about that, but man, this have been definite a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we laughed about it, we church it, but sometimes separation can feel lonely, and that's
Baby.
the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
feels like you out here by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You in the middle of the ocean in a boat, all alone, literally.
With no paddles.
With no paddles, you just going with the wind. The wind is blowing you, and you don't know what direction the wind is blowing because you ain't got a compass.
Baby, I was crying yesterday. Okay, let me just say that. I was crying because I was feeling that heavy. So I want to pray as we close. I want to pray over the people tonight because even though we're making it funny now, it's a very, very heavy. I couldn't laugh yesterday. I was paralyzed with the numbness of I wanted to close off, shut all doors, close all windows. I was heavy. I was heavy. I was crying. I was in a deep seated place like God, I don't understand why you carry me out by myself. I don't mind doing what you call me to do, but I know I'm the life of a single woman. I know that you can build somebody to help me toward this ground. Why I got to toil everything? It feels like everything you called me to do, I got to toil it by myself. I got to be by myself. It is so. It's such a place. It's such a place. So
It is.
I want to um pray over you guys. If you want to sow a seed, you can sow it to Red Image 26 $ Red Image 26. If you have a prayer request, y'all know y'all can hit us in our inboxes with anything, any topics. Y'all can hit us at Gmail, redimage26@gmail.com. But I want to pray over you because I don't want to take lightly because it was not light for me last night. It's lighter now. But last night I was I was weeping. I was in a heavy place. So God, right now, as I'm looking over these names, God, I pray for each of them. I pray that tonight something that was said that pierced their heart, pierced their mind, give them a level of understanding that they didn't have before. I thank you that you're shining a light even on those dark places and helping them to understand that you're working it. Even if you cut the lights back out, that you're working out a thing on the inside of them. I pray, oh God, that they're open to the work, that they're vulnerable, they're open to the experience to let you do and have your way. I thank you even now that you are equipping them, even with this conversation. If they have to be taken off, they understand those places now, oh God, and they're willing to go. They want to be an Isaac. They want to let you bind their hands and bind their feet. And they're willing to be an open sacrifice because they understand that if you take them off, you're able to bring them back. So even now, God, I thank you for every word that proceeded out of our mouth, oh God. Let it take a root in your people, oh God. Let it flourish. Let it be heavy in the spirit for your people, oh God. God, I thank you even now for divine protection over their minds in those places of separation, in those places where they may feel very alone, oh God. Help them to know that they are alone and not lonely, oh God. We thank you, oh God, that you are creating new avenues and new ways to look at words, oh God. We thank you that no longer will separation be a bad word, oh God, but we know that separation is a necessary word. It is only strictly to move us from one space to another, oh God, and for us to get clarity and focus of mind. We thank you for the clarity and focus of mind in your people even now. I pray over each person on this line and for people that will come on later and hit the replay button. I pray even now over every situation that they have, that they always have clarity of mind, that they always stand over top of every situation and allowed to see, oh God, what you are doing on the inside of them, oh God. God, help their eyes to focus, oh God. If there be any disease that will cause their eyes to shift back and forth, I say make them stable even now. If there's anything in their mind that causes their mind to misfire and not be able to think clearly, I say stable their minds even now, oh God. Oh God, any clogged up nasal passages that will allow them to be distorted about what they smell and what they see, any headaches that are going on, oh God, I say clear the nasal passages that they may be clear of thought and clear of mind and able to smell and see what you are doing, oh God. Oh God, we know in prophetic places we don't always see what you're doing, but we can smell and we can hear, oh God. And I thank you, oh God, that they're hearing by the Spirit even now, oh God, that the place of separation is your place. It is your place of process. It is your place of replanting and growing, oh God. We honor you even now that the most beautiful things grow in the dark, oh God. So we say, God, we honor you for those places and we glorify you even now, for we know you are there, oh God, and we want to be where you are. And I thank you for each and every person on tonight. Let them rest well. Let them take a deep breath and inhale your glory. I say mouth to mouth resuscitation upon your people, oh God, and may they inhale what you are and spew out everything that is not like you. I pray for the digestive system even now, oh God, that they may be able to digest every word that was given on tonight, every word that they read that comes from you, oh God, but not be able to digest anything of the enemy and anything of the devil and of their self that will not produce anything that is not of you. I thank you, oh God, that their fruit is edible. It's not freak fruit, it's not recreated fruit, but it is the fruit of you. And I thank you in the name of Jesus for everything that you are doing, and bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. We do thank you for everybody who has joined in on this live on tonight. We do thank you. We appreciate you, our followers. We will be back on here Friday at 7 p.m. We won't be taking a hiatus for a good minute. So we want to say, hey, share, like, tag, and follow us on all our social media platforms. We love
Yes.
you all. We see you all next Friday. Good people. Peace out.
Peace.